Okay, Russ, do you want to tell us how you get started in the hobby or not?
The first fish I ever had, I won a goldfish at a fair or something in middle school. So I came home with it in a plastic bag, had to keep it overnight in a pitcher till we got a goldfish bowl the next day. That kind of started my interest in fish keeping. Um, it went how most goldfish bowls go for middle schoolers, not well. So my next foray into fish keeping was in college, had a few different freshwater tanks, random stuff. After college, got into frontosa, um, African cichlids, shell dwellers, stuff like that. And then there was a local fish store called Fantastic. They had a really big display showroom. They had the black tip sharks in a big oval tank, a bunch of frags. This was probably around 2007. Um, Saw a BioCube HQI, 28 gallon with a metal halide. So I went home, got a bunch of the frontosa, brought them, traded them in, and then went back home with a saltwater setup, a bunch of live rock, and started from there.
Was it a successful start in the hobby?
As much as it could be back then. I was pretty ignorant, so when stuff didn't know what go well, I probably didn't really realize it. So from the BioCube, I think I got one of those. What was it? A Solana, the 34 gallon cube. That moved into like a 75 gallon with a calcium reactor, skimmer, all that good stuff. Had a couple of Red Sea tanks along the way. A couple of custom tanks. Biggest tank was like a 165 that had pretty much fish only. And now I am back to a reef tank. This is a Frag 105.4. It's 4 feet wide. You know what? I'll just measure it. Yeah, it's 4 by 2 by 16.
A willingness to believe, a desire to accept, a leap of, dare I say it, faith?
So I think it's about what, 75, 80 gallons based on the dimensions. Completely stock tank, sump, all that stuff. Open up the sump. And Ron, where else do we want to go here? You tell me.
Oh yeah, it's up to you if you want to do hardware. You want to do hardware just now and then go through that and then go through livestock.
Sure. So, starting at the top, lighting hardware is two Refi Uno 2.0s. I've had Refi Duo Extremes, the Uno 1, the Uno 2. They're great. They're running, I think, at like 40% power, and I've got way more than enough power. Um, love them. Had a couple of questions for the owner, Daniel. He's great to deal with, any kind of service stuff. He's fantastic. The lights are serviceable. They're easy to take apart. They have like you can actually fix stuff. Like one of the three versions of lights had LED screen, get a line in it. He sent me a new one. It takes like 5 minutes to pop the case off. It's like if you can work on a computer, you can work on these lights. They're awesome. In the tank, I think you can see the four power heads. Those are the Reef Octopus Pulse 2s. That provides all the flow in the tank. Um, that's all the hardware in the tank. Let's see here.
Do you have all four of your power heads pointing at the surface?
Kind of. They yeah, in a roundabout way. They get some pretty good bounce off the front, the ones on the back. And then these run in forward and reverse. So that really changes the flow. So when it's in forward, you know it's the forward cone shaped stream. And then when they run in reverse, it's kind of that wider disc shaped flow that kicks up a lot of stuff underneath it. It's pretty neat. So then in the sump, let's see. There we go. You tell me, Ron, left to right or right to left? Because on the left is all the hydro stuff.
Yeah, right to left. Let's leave the juicy stuff to the end.
All right. So stock sump for the water box, mostly stock. So water drains in there. I usually don't run a sock, but I threw in some, what is it, calcium carbonate powder, trying to make the water extra sparkly for you guys. So that's why there's one in there now.
Appreciate
Water just goes through that kind of narrow alley there on the water box sump, the intake line for the cage care, and then I'll go ahead and turn on the fuge light.
Does all of that pipe work come pre-made? You just
Yes.
bolt it on?
Yep. And then you can see that white plug up on the top right where that's the port for a manifold. So then recently added a fuge. A couple of reasons. I just like them. I like seeing the different critters. The smell of a fuge, I don't know if it actually does anything in regards to nutrients, but it's neat. I caught one of those clown goby. I caught one of those yellow chorus, so it lives down there now.
Almost.
The ulva is going nuts. There's a ton of pods and worms and snails, all kinds of stuff growing in there. Just the Tunes Eco Chic light, waterproof, but I keep it just out of the water line. All the stuff in there's from Indo-Pacific Sea Farms, and you can see different snails and stuff breeding, all different kinds of
Is all of your flow from your tank coming down and going all through the refugium, or is that a kind of bypass?
Yep, all of it goes through the fuge.
Okay, so the whole lot.
Yep, and then you can see the divider panel in there. So that kind of really dissipates the flow where it comes in pretty strong through the socks, but by the time it comes through the fuge, it goes through that slotted divider into the skimmer section where I've got the heater. Went with one of those, what is it, Cobalt Neotherm. When I added the fuge, I didn't have enough room for the Aheim. What was it? Jaeger. So far so good with the Cobalt. Was running a, what is it, Bubble King skimmer, but it's huge. So I went with the Tunes C9410 DC, and then it's got the bigger cup from whatever the next size model up is. So it holds away a lot more skimmate than stock.
I don't think
And
I've
you can
ever seen anyone use a different sized skimmer cup on a smaller skimmer. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, it's just a longer neck. It's basically, you can see two of the cups welded together. You see that big seam in it? So the one that comes with it, the lid would just go where the seam is. And they basically just connected two of them together to give you that longer neck. Got a sensor in there for the hydros. I'm sorry, what were you saying?
That's pretty cool. I didn't know that was a thing either.
It may not be anymore. I know a couple years ago they stopped making that bigger skimmer. And if you've never dealt with Roger at Tunesy, he's awesome. I recall him saying something like they only had a couple left, so it may be a thing that's no longer available. But works great. It's a simple skimmer, well loud, but very consistent. From there, just the return chamber. I forget the name of the place that did the acrylic probe hangers, but no magnets or anything. pH, temperature, or probe, top off in there, and then a Jabao like DC 12,000 return pump, maybe something like that. All of it goes through a 15-watt skimmer right back into the return, back into the tank. Threw together just a control or a mounting board, just a couple of pieces of wood, some wing nuts and stuff. That way I kind of clamped out around the stock legs. Didn't want to drill a bunch of hole in the stand. So mounted all the stuff without poking holes in the factory stand.
The all important MFB sticker.
Yep. And I was way off on that pump. It says it's a DCP 3500, not a 12,000. I don't know what I was thinking. That's like a quarter of the size. Maybe I was thinking the gallons.
We all tend to think that things are bigger than they are. Don't worry about it.
I'll bring the tape back out.
So Russ, you've got the skimmer and the UV.
Yep.
Do you run those 24/7, or is there I know some people run UV, they only run it, 12 hours a day, and some people like to turn their skimmers off at certain times.
Nope, 24/7 for them both. The skimmer, let's see. I don't know if you can see the line there. You see the outline of that orange box in the wall behind the skimmer? Actually, here, I'll just, let's see, where is it? Okay, that box there.
Yeah.
There's a 1-inch line I dropped from the attic. So the skimmer intake line connects to that. So it's drawing in fresh air from the attic. So that's why I run it 24/7, just constant fresh air, keep the pH up. And then the UV. I mean, I think I know some people think it harms by having it run all the time, but I don't think enough of the bacterial population in the tank actually goes through it. I mean, my thoughts were that there's more stuff in the rock than in the water column. So I like the clarity it provides. Tank's pretty algae free, so I like them.
These
And just sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say these aquabiomics tests are. I'm hearing kind of conflicting evidence on the fact that UV sterilizers kill a lot of the good bacteria. I run mine 24/7, or mine are 85 watts on 400-liter systems, which is massively oversized. But my water clarity is so clear, and I've had such, touchwood, good luck with zero fish diseases that I'm definitely not turning mine off.
Yeah, the aquabiomic stuff is neat. I haven't done it yet though.
I'll go one further with you guys. I'm running my UV 24/7, and I'm running ozone most of the time during the day, and I'm not seeing any ill effects as far as bacterial populations. Everything's growing well and healthy, and my fish are healthy. So yeah, Russell, I'm with you on the UV 24/7.
Yeah, I used ozone in the past, and to me, UV is a little simpler. So I think both work well.
Yeah, I'm only
like anything, it requires a little bit of homework by the hobbyist.
Yeah, it's a bit scary if you don't know.
So Russ, are you running that for fish disease? Like, because I know you can switch the rate to control algae growth and things like that, or dinos, like.
Yeah, just water clarity.
Okay.
And as far as disease goes, everything in the tank is either captive bred, aquaculture, where I feel relatively okay with plop and drop, and then whatever's wild caught in there was conditioned. I think the only wild caught fish in there right now are the chorus wrasse. And then there's just the cheap Amazon strip light going around the top to provide some light.
Does the job?
Yep, brightens things up enough.
So is that on like an open close switch when you open the sump?
No, it's just on a remote that I have Velcroed
Oh,
to
okay,
the side
nice.
there.
Nice.
And then the stock top off. There's a hydros water sensor in there, so I get an alert when it's low. Put it a couple inches off the bottom so I can ignore the alert for a while. Yeah, and then just dump that or top that off with RODI water, and then the Spectra Pure top off takes care of the rest.
How often do you find yourself refilling that?
In the summer, about once a week when the air conditioning's running. When the heat is running, which it has been at night lately, twice a week. Yeah, I don't know if a lid would help, and I don't know. Part of me likes a bigger reservoir, so I can be lazy with it, but then part of me likes a smaller reservoir so that if shit happens, I don't overflow the sump. You know, worst case, if I dump the entire reservoir in the tank, it's not a disaster.
Yeah. My biggest problem with my reservoir is it's big, and every 3 or 4 months my skimmer goes berserk for some reason. And my skimmer is just to a drain. So when it goes berserk, I don't necessarily realize it's going berserk. I just see that my ATO is going fast.
Yeah, if I had a big tank and some fail safes in, I would love to have, you know, the RODI go straight to a top off reservoir, but for what I'm working with here, I like the limited size. I just haul a 2.5 gallon, I think, plastic jug of water up here, and it fills it 3/4 of the way up, so it's not like it's hard work.
So what we got going on in this side of the sump?
All kinds of stuff. That's why we pay you the big bucks.
That was
You mean
my
he's getting
high
paid?
noise. Who's getting paid?
You mean he's getting paid?
Oh, shit!
A Alcatronic paired with a Dostronic, and that was pretty cool. That would measure, and then dose. I was using the ATI. I was using a Balling 3-part, then I went to the ATI 2-part. I also had a KH Guardian, the one from Dr. Bridge. That was okay. Used that for a while, and now that is a KH Carer from Comore, or actually, I think you can get the D&D version in the UK run.
Yep.
DD makes
DD.
whatever. I don't know if they call it the KH Carer or what, but
Yeah, KH Carer or KH Guardian or something.
they all work basically the same. They take a sample of tank water. That's what that green line is. There's a little filter on the end of it. Fills up that beaker.
So
There's a magnetic. Sorry, go ahead.
all of you that use a controller with some form of trident or whatever measuring tool to dose, you use that tool to dose your tank from the results of the tests.
You can
Correct.
choose to have that.
Do you
Yeah.
now? Do you do that just with pH, or do you do that with alk measurements, calcium measurements? Like, I don't understand how much your tank uptake varies to need like such minute adjustments. Like my tank is once a week measure. I don't have to really change anything. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
Yep.
once
So-
your tank gets into its stride though with a trident, The Trident's just dosing regularly, but it can fluctuate higher or lower depending on your tank's and consumption of the element. So the
but how much, and how much does that like real? I don't know if it's worth the money. You know what I mean? To keep it that controlled.
For me,
does that little bit of
working
fluctuation
really well.
matter?
Yeah, I can only talk for myself, and I've had fantastic results with mine. Saves me a lot of time.
But if you didn't, and you just had a scheduled dose running, and would you see a difference?
I suppose for me with the frag system, if I'm selling 100 frags one day, obviously my consumption of 3 is going to drop quite a bit. And could I calculate the difference within reason? The Trident just does it for me.
That makes sense. And if you're moving corals in and out as fast as Russ does with 5 new plates, get rid of a bunch of frog spawn, 6 new plates, get rid of a bunch of hammer.
Fuck you, frog spawn this week.
7 new plates.
Frog spawn this week.
Send a bunch of shit to Zach.
Yeah, if it was just a standard tank and nothing was changing other than a bit of uptake of elements due to a little bit of growth, a Trident probably would be a wee bit over the top. It's not necessary. Yeah.
No, none of it's necessary. I mean, that 75 I had grew SPS great, and I think I had just a digital aquatics reef keeper, monitoring like the temperature, the pH, and then with the what was it, like a Milwaukee pH controller on the calcium reactor? I mean, it grew green slimer so fast, it was like you could almost watch it grow. And hell if I know what the alk was all the time. I just like gadgets. I think it's neat. Could definitely do without it.
I love that you're so honest about it, because the gadgets and all the toys, people that are actually into that sort of thing get quite a bad rap right now. It's like, oh, you don't need that. No, I don't need it, but I fucking like it, so fuck you.
Exactly.
Well, okay, fuck
like
me,
it.
Ron. Sorry for asking.
Fuck you, Jim.
I think it's cool. I think it's cool. I just don't want to put up the money for it. Like if the Hydros is what I would go for. I think it's cool.
Yeah, and everyone, I mean, talks, so many people say stability is key, but there's people with, 1 DKH swinging elk every day, and their tank can be awesome. So I don't think it's like the barometer for success having your elk be a straight line, but for me, it's something easy because the machine measures it and doses based on the elk reading. So my involvement is just looking at the chart, making sure it's not going nuts.
I totally agree.
I like that. I'm a lazy reefer.
I don't agree with the elk swing thing. I don't think it's that important.
Same with what the calc dosing people, their target's pH. Cool. Their elk be damned. They have a big swing at elk, but they try to flatline their pH. Okay, works for them.
You have to like calibrate that KH Guardian a lot, or do you do just like a monthly, or just you don't even look at it?
So the KH Care tells you, I think it's once a month, maybe twice a month, once every 2 months. It gives you a little alert through the app. But the KH Care, KH Guardian, Alcatronic, the KH Director, they all basically work the same way. They take a sample of water. So in this case, it's that green line. There's a little filter on it. It dumps the water out of the container, test container, into the tank. That's the red line, the drain line. Puts in clean water. And then this machine, you can actually tell it how many times to rinse. So I think I have it do it twice. That way it flushes the container with sample water, drains it, fills it in, drains it, fills it. Then once it has that known volume of water and it measures the pH, it takes acid, which is in that right container underneath it, and just adds the acid until it reaches a target pH. And then it knows how much acid it added, and based on the starting pH and the finish pH, what your alk is. I'm dosing AFR, that's in the other container, and there's a dosing head on the side of that thing. So based on whatever the reading is, it adds the necessary amount of AFR or skips it if needed, or changes it. If it's high or low, it can say, oh, I'm going to add less this time or more this time.
So when dosing AFR, for people who do use that, and Jordan does too, does everybody who do it do their dose based off of alkalinity, and never measures calcium?
The instructions say calcium, but my machine doesn't measure calcium, so I use alk.
Okay.
I base mine off of alk.
Yeah, same. It's just because I don't have a test kit within, 5 ppm for calcium. Like, it's going to fluctuate 10, 15 ppm on a test because the test kits are shit, right?
That's weird. I wonder how many. It's 3 out of 3 in this small group who are using Alpha Reef, all test alk. I wonder how many people around the world do that too, even though their instructions say measure calcium.
Well, and what's weird is with formate, like, you're seeing a bit of a lag in alkalinity. So that's what I'm curious about your setup, Russ. Like, do you notice, like, on a chart for alk, is it flat? Like, are you able to maintain that? Or do you see like little pits and valleys? Like,
so I recently had the KH Care start dosing. It was a lot flatter when I had the Hydros doing it, so it's still a work in progress, but it is definitely a delay. It seems to be based on the light cycle a bit too. So if I dose at night, I'm not going to see the alk until the lights really get going. But if it doses out the AFR during the day, it seems like it becomes available like 4 to 6 hours with the lights on. Does that make sense?
yeah, it does.
So I think
how often are you testing with that?
Every 4 hours from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. So
it's pretty much when you'd see that alkalinity show up is when you can retest.
Yeah, I don't care. I don't want it to dose at night, so I don't have a test at night. And the drain pump is loud. It's a quiet machine except for that drain pump when it's clearing out the test container.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, and all the other machines, well, the Alcatronic, so the KHG required a BNC cable to the Hydros to let the Hydros know the alk reading, but the KH Care and the Alcatronic, the Hydros can sign in to their web portal and get the reading. So you don't need that cable. So that's kind of cool too, is the KH Care readings display as alk on my Hydros just through the web without any physical connection. Any other questions about that tester? Let's see if I can get a shot of the side. You can kind of see where the pumps are. Show you the display. Shows you the KH, pH, when it tested, when it's going to test again, how it works, the little magnetic pill in there, pH probe, and then you can't see the drain tube and the fill tube, but they're in there, and then there's a little nozzle for the acid, and then all the hydro stuff crammed in there. It's a X4, a wave engine, an XP8, one of just cool boxes, the refi ballasts, and then a Casa smart strip.
Send me one.
Which one?
Just
Where's Jeff?
Joking aside, I'm probably gonna take down the Fuval tank, and I'll have the XP3 collecting dust if you want to play with it. So it's a slightly less capable Hydros, but it'll do the Wi-Fi bar and the pH and temperature.
I can't wait until that stuff hits Europe. I'm going to be all over it.
So yeah, I guess we'll start with the X4. The top left, those command buses, it's got a physical connection to the wave engine and then to the XP8. So all three of them have those cables linking them together. So if there's any kind of Wi-Fi or cloud issue, they're physically connected. And then the Hydros has those little terminators, like those plugs. I guess they're resistors or something. I don't know. I'm really dumb when it comes to electricity, but that has all them connected. The top right is the 0 to 10 volt. So that's where I've got Jeff's button box connected. Let's see if this is better. Where I've got the feed mode button and then the water change button if I don't want to get out the app.
I rest my case.
And then I'm not using the drive ports. Those are those orange ones, but I did have the dosing pumps on those. You can also use, I think, a couple other accessories. And then, what is it, the sense ports underneath that? Or no, yeah, so the probes are in the bottom left. So pH, ORP, and then on the right is all those sense ports. So that's, I want to say, the temperature, the skimmer sensor, the water level sensor, and then the other one's open. I just couldn't see it. Cool. So I can add something else to that. And then it's got the
Leak detector.
exactly. And then the wave engine controls all the power heads. It's got one power supply connected to the wave engine. And it's also got another power supply connected to the X4. XP8 has all the critical equipment. Actually, this is the only Hydros power bar in the system. I used to have the Wi-Fi. I used to have it set up where XP8 was the mission critical stuff and the Wi-Fi was stuff that was okay if it was stuck on or off. But I consolidated. That Casa strip has the refugium light, I think that's all that's on there right now. Yeah, the refugium light, and then I use the front plug for water change pump, stuff like that. So then everything else fit on the XP8, 3 ballasts, and the skimmer controller.
Russell, how often? I've got a Hydros, the X4 and the XP8 as well. I'm relatively new with it though. I think I set it up in like late June, early July. How often do you calibrate your pH and ORP probes?
Not as often as I should.
It's recommended every month, but the machine's only as good as the calibrator usually. And it also probably depends on the age of your probe.
I mean, I've noticed mine is kind of like my pH has kind of steadily been creeping up to like a level that I'm skeptical of. It's been hanging around like the 8.3s at night and 8.4, 8.5 at the peak. And I'm just like, oh, I don't know necessarily if this is believable or not. But then I look in the tank and everything is looking really happy. So I don't know what to believe. I need to probably calibrate it and see for myself.
Yeah, and the KH Care measures the pH. So I kind of use that as my sanity check. So when stuff doesn't match, that's kind of a signal to me to go ahead and calibrate them. Yeah,
That's
sorry,
cool.
I stepped
To
on
have
one of
two.
the fucking tripod legs and broke it. God damn it.
Just cost that up.
Russ, just a question about that button box. So you have it connected to one of the main like controllers. So do you tell, like on the app, do you tell what one of the buttons does and what the other one does? So it turns off multiple things all at once, or?
Yes. Are you gonna, okay. If the
It's
camera
obviously not
falls,
just switching off one thing. It's doing a series of things.
yeah, so it's fucking terrible.
I watched a video on YouTube yesterday from Jeff's YouTube channel on how these button boxes work.
Okay, well, I can do that.
Yeah, they're really,
Yeah,
really
it's great.
Yeah, I watched that those videos the other day. That's pretty interesting.
That's how I set it up.
I rest my case.
So how do I screen share?
So the little kind of obsessive part of my brain absolutely loves the fact that the button box is mounted sideways, but the number 1 and 2, or is it A and B, are actually the right way up the way you've mounted it.
Yeah, I would have to do it the way the text is printed. What madness would it be having the text not be oriented correctly?
Yeah, but I mean, the main part of the machine is the wrong way, but the letters are the right way. I just wonder what the thinking from Jeff was, doing one way and one the other.
For fuck's sake.
Okay, full blown fucking bone.
Oh, that's fancy. Holy shit.
I'm very aroused right now.
I too am aroused.
I'm starting to swell up. Yeah.
So collective, okay. So basically collective is what Hydros calls all the stuff grouped together. Pretty cool. This is the X4. You can see all the stats. Same thing with the wave engine. And then same thing with the XP8. I got my different modes. Feeding basically shuts off the return, keeps the pump circulation and tank going, the octopulse. I think I shut off the heater. I shut off some of the other stuff in the sump that I don't want running when there's no water flow. Normal is everything on, and then water change is, you know, return off, a bunch of stuff in the sump off, stuff like that. All my inputs, this comes from the hydros, the temperature and the pH. The out comes from the KH care, skimmer sensor leak detector, top off reservoir, ORP, and then the voltage is, like you said, you watched that video from Jeff where it's just measuring the voltage of the box, basically saying, hey, you set it up right. So these are all the inputs into the hydros.
God damn it!
So yeah, with the hydros, like here's the temperature. Super simple to set up. You can tell it, what do you want it to use? What input? Temperature probe, or is it one of these other things that can measure? What port do you have it connected to on the hydros? What's your safe range? What do you want the top and the low, the low and the high limit on the graph displays? Offset, so if it's not measuring to whatever you want to calibrate it to, change it. And then with the alerts, if you want to have it outside of your safe range, red is like, yeah, you're going to get, you can set up the alerts however you want. So you can change all the notifications, all that stuff based on the color of alerts. So if you wanted to get an email, app alert, stuff like that, you can change all that. Do you want to see how the rest of the stuff works in Hydros, Ron? Gang?
I am trying to work out what everyone is seeing and what I'm recording, because I've spotlighted you, but you're sharing your screen. Is everyone just seeing the hydros?
I see the tank in the top corner and hydros on my.
With Jim.
I've
got a hydros on the main screen and then the tank in the corner.
Yeah, that's what I've got. I'm just hoping it's recording this the way we're seeing it, but you know, we'll see.
Chances are you're gonna have to edit most of it out.
No, I think everyone's quite turned on by this, so they're all behaving.
I don't give a fuck.
Dayman. Fighter of the night, man. Champion of the sun. You're a master of karate and friendship for everyone. A dayman, that's it. Dayman. Fighter of the night, man. Champion of the sun.
Yeah, so then all the sensors, skimmer sensor, all that, you can set it up, whatever sense port you're using. If you want the notification, in this case it's red, so when the skimmer cup gets full, I get an alert through the app, an email, and then an actual audible alarm. You can change it if you want to be alerted when it's wet or dry. So skimmer sensor works just like the ATO reservoir sensor, just inverse. This one I get an alert when it's dry, and I have it a couple inches off the bottom of the reservoir so that it's not going to run dry. I have, half a day or so to act on it before it actually runs dry. And then same thing with the ORP. You can put all the values in. I don't care. I just monitor it. I don't have any actions, any conditions. And then if you want, you can change this stuff to a graph, to text. We can look at the graphs. You can see as it fills in the pH. Same thing with the temperature. Skimmer sensor, you can see when it got full. Leak detector, cool. That's what I like to see. No leaks ever. And then same thing, ATO reservoir, you can see when it was dry and I had to refill it. So to answer your question, Jim, it made it about 2 days now that we're running the heat at night. Then my ALK reading, there you go. And then if you wanted to zoom out, zoom in, you can change it to days. That's probably a better look. You can see where I dicked around with the reagent. You can see every day, it looks like it stays right around 7.7. Sometimes a little higher into the low 8s, sometimes a little lower into the like 7.5 range.
I need a fucking hydros.
Same thing with the ORP. You can see just general trends. I don't really care. I'm not doing anything off the ORP. It's just, hey, if it's super low, maybe something's messed up. Or maybe it just has a pineapple sponge growing on the probe. And then the voltage, couldn't care less about that. And yeah, I agree, Jordan. Hydros is awesome. If I was getting into the ecosystem, that's where I would go. And no joking, if Jim or Ron doesn't want the X3 when I shut the Fluval down,
I didn't
you're
say
welcome
I
to try
didn't
it.
want it. I just find your generosity a little uncomfortable. I think you give so much away. I would only accept it if you allowed me to pay.
Could you see my desktop and stuff there?
I mean, your screen's sharing, so we can pretty much see everything, I think.
Oh, just when I was like flipping between stuff and closing my email. When you go through it, if any of that shit's there, just snip it out, please. Yeah, I mean, what am I gonna do? Sell this stuff for a third of what I paid for it to some asshole who's a total hassle? I'd rather give it to somebody that I'm friends with, that I talk to daily.
Well, I very much so appreciate your generosity, and I'm sure everybody else does as well.
Thank you.
I can attest to it. I'm still using that frag rack you gave me in my tank here. That's where all my SPS frags are. And that
Excellent.
pump, actually. That's my water change pump.
Perfect. Keeps it out of the landfill. Awesome.
And costs add up.
I mean, this is a hobby. Everyone does try to mitigate their costs somewhat, but I mean, I think of it like golf. I spend less than somebody who plays golf every week, and I have something tangible. Like, you can't sell greens fees after you used them, but I can sell or give a pump to somebody. So I'm okay having a sunk cost for my entertainment.
It's a good way to look at it.
It's cheaper than going to a bar.
Because of the implication.
Mr. Dub just wrote on your screen share there. I don't know how he did that.
What is he doing?
Oh yeah, look, there's an annotate button at the bottom, and you can draw shit on all over Russ's screen.
Really?
Here come the
Holy
cock.
shit. Where is that?
Look at all
Incoming penis. There it is. I knew there was going to be a dick
everywhere.
somewhere.
Boners.
this is not getting edited. This is not getting edited. Incoming.
Cocks as far
Ron,
as the eye can see.
will you add some of the drawings from the Superbad book?
I'm very aroused right now.
I too am aroused.
I'm starting to swell up. Yeah.
Yeah, so then the rest of the stuff with the XP8, it's got the power monitoring. So you can see what wattage everything's drawing. So top off next to nothing, skimmer, heater, cage care, return, the Unos, all that stuff. So yeah, Unos, you can see I'm only running them at 40 watts. And it looks like the right Uno didn't sync up with the program change, so I'll actually just pop them both off. And then back on. And of course you can set alerts for the power. So for example, you know what your skimmer is supposed to run wattage wise. So you can set up the skimmer sensor, tell it what outlets it's on, and then the safe power range. So I'm okay with it being all the way off or up to whatever wattage based on the pump, say. So if it starts pulling way more wattage, maybe I want it to shut off, notify me, whatever. Can tell it what modes to be active in, depends on actually. So let's say I want the skimmer to depend on the return pump. Skimmer shouldn't be on unless the return pump's on. Same thing, advanced settings, you can tell it, okay, if something happens and I shut it off, it's going to stay off for a minimum of 3 minutes. So like if the skimmer sensor trips, or if for whatever reason I hit the off button, I shut it off manually. It won't, that's the timer where it won't turn back on. Same thing with a maximum on, don't care, it's a skimmer, it has no maximum on. So then I just upload my changes. I changed it to the return dependency. Cool, there we go.
Fuck me, this is so cool.
Yeah, I love it. It's intuitive, but then it's complicated enough. But I to do some pretty cool stuff. Jeff, of course, is a wizard with this. The Hydros form is pretty good too. I keep it pretty simple. It's a glorified timer, temperature controller, doser, but it works for me. And then I like having the visual of the flow here too. So you can see which ones are running forward. 1 and 4 are on the left and right walls of the tank. 2 and 3 are the ones on the back by the overflow. So you can see when they're going forward, when they're going in reverse. And with the programming here, the power heads, I can say, okay, here's the speed limit of this pump. When it's at the lowest setting, it's here. At the highest setting, 100%, it's here. Here's the wave engine driving it. Reverse pump limits. Do I allow reverse? And then do I want any notifications? So this one on the left and right walls, I have them going from 25 to 70. On the back, since it's a much shorter distance, I have them going only up to 60%. And then a different reverse limit because the ones on the back, just where they're placed, if I let them go too high in reverse, they kind of splash water too up. And it kind of splashes up against that back wall and it's annoying. So just slowed them down a bit. And the way the flow works is that's actually in a schedule. So I've got 2 schedules. One starts at 8 a.m. and it runs until 8 p.m. So just different flow patterns, different intensities, but here's the one during the day. So they're running a gyre pattern and they're at the low setting, 65, and then they're running 100% of their pump speed on that previous screen. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So even though I have those pumps set at like 70 and this says 100, they're going to run at 100% of that 70 on the schedule. Bunch of different patterns. So just like, every other one, SPS is, drastic short changes. LPS is more gradual. The gyre mode, the ocean swell, the nutrient export, square wave, triangle wave, just different ramp patterns. And then you can change the cycle duration too, whether you want it I think the minimum for the wave engine is maybe 2.5 seconds as a duration, but then you can go as long as you want. So for example, the gyre I'm running takes 10 seconds for the pumps to go up and down. Pump count 4, all the positioning. Do I want them in reverse? And then when do I want them to run day-wise? Or how often a day? Or what do they depend on? If they'll only be on when the lights are on, whatever. So that's the flow during the day. And then at night, I just change to a gentler sine wave and slightly less intensity and a longer duration. Figure that gives the fish somewhere to chill. Don't know if they actually need it or not.
I might have missed this, but are they all like Hydros power heads or?
They are the Reef Octopulse 2s. So they connect with the wave to the wave engine with just a little adapter cable. CoralView calls them their direct drive adapters. So the pump, I bought all 4 pumps without the Reef Octopus controller, pump only. I want to say it's like half the price buying them that way compared to the one with the actual control box and power supply. So it's the pump connected to a little adapter, which is basically, just changing the pins to connect to the wave engine. All 4 pumps are that way. There's one power supply into the wave engine. And then they all just run off of that.
That's cool.
Yeah, like I would not be able to package 4 MP10 or MP40 control boxes and power supplies in there.
Start a GoFundMe.
Just that shit's so bulky. I love the form factor of the wave engine.
So is the wave engine just a connector box for your plugs to mount to? Like
the wave engine, it's a power supply for the pumps and then a pump controller.
And how many ports does that have? It has obviously 4 because you're plugging in 4.
Correct.
Does it have more than how many? Is that it? 4?
It has 4, and
Okay.
they sell I think it's called a LE, where it has 2 if you don't need all 4. So that's at a lower price point. But I don't know why 4 is the limit. I assume maybe it's got to do with the power supply.
Yeah.
Feeding the wave engine, maybe it can only drive so many pumps off that one power supply.
And then does that power supply plug into one of your electrical plugs in the hydros?
No, I have that just plugged into a wall.
Okay.
That way the wave engine gets its own power.
Hydros still controls it.
Exactly. And it does it through that bus.
Because one of the things with the controllers that has frustrated me thinking of wanting to get one is the limit of electrical connectors and needing that electrical connector to be part of the actual controller.
No, that makes sense. The wave engine, I like having it on a separate outlet. I have to look at the Hydros Collective stuff.
Because looking at Neptune shit, it's like I gotta buy a $250 power strip.
Let's see if it has an example of one with the wave engine. But yeah, see here, it's showing you how you can have the redundant power supplies. Yep, here's one with the wave engine. How you can see, okay, you've got the low power adapter into the X4 or whatever, and then you've got the power supply for the pumps into the wave engine. And then this is sending data and power. So the power off this wave engine is also powering this, it looks like maybe a X3 or a XS or whatever, and then this X4.
So you can just build like X3s and X4s all together if you need more outlets, is kind of what I'm gathering.
Yeah, and well, that would be for like the ports, the sense ports, the drive ports, the 0 to 10. The outlets are the XP8 or the Wi-Fi bars.
Right.
So you just plug those in, and if it's the XP8, it's got that data wiring or bus,
Yeah,
the
the
command
data
bus, whatever
cable,
they call
command
it.
bus.
Yep. But then if it's the Wi-Fi, it's just plugged into the wall.
Right.
And
You
then
had
the Wi-Fi,
of
we can
those.
flip over to the dummy one. So with the Wi-Fi, this is what I have on that Fluval. Only the X3, so I'm just measuring temperature and pH. And then because I'm doing a blackout for the dynos, I've got the light shut off manually. The USB ports, I'm running a low power head off those, and then the return pump, the heater, and then the canister filter right now. And that has no wiring for like the command bus or anything. That's just the 1X3 and then the Wi-Fi bar, and there's no physical connection between the two. The Wi-Fi bar just, you add it through syncing it up to your hydros through the online stuff, linking it, whatever.
How did you find the transition going from Neptune to Hydros? I mean, this is really attractive to me. However, the
Easy.
thought of everything all ticking over and going really well with my Neptune gear makes me slightly anxious about changing anything.
I mean, it's simple enough where it walks you through, hey, here's how you set it up in general. And then here's all these use cases for if you want to do an Alcatronic, we'll show you. Adding an ORT probe, adding the different kinds of leak detectors. So they actually show you like, okay, here's a heater. So you don't have to guess, you can just follow the steps. So for somebody dipping their toes in the controller pool, to me, that's pretty simple to use through drop downs and whatever. So let's see, can I?
Here's your toll, troll.
Well, and I think with a system like yours, Russ, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think most people start with a system like that day one, right? They get things going, they start adding devices. Once they kind of get the hang of it, they start adding more stuff. Like,
yep, when I started with the Hydros, I had 2 Wi-Fi bars, the X4 and the Wave engine. Actually, I started with the Wave engine before, gosh, I had a Profilux 4 at the same time. And just used the Wave engine for the flow, loved it. And then when I got annoyed enough with GHL, I went to Hydros with the X4 and the Wave engine, had 2 Wi-Fi bars. XP8 wasn't out yet. And then once the XP8 became available, added it and then got everything off the Wi-Fi bars. The Wi-Fi bars are way more reliable than they used to be, but initially they were pretty flaky about connecting and disconnecting, and the alerts would just be going off nonstop.
Hydros could really be onto a winner if they were to allow everything Neptune work with their ecosystem. That would be a massive game changer.
that would be
Jeff
like
has, I think you can use their liquid level sensor and maybe a couple other gadgets. Jeff has a couple of how-tos to get them on those 0 to 10 volt input ports.
It would be quite a game changer. It would be an aggressive play, but yeah.
Yeah, I thought about doing that for the top off reservoir, but I don't really care how much water's in there until it's low.
Aperture would probably have a fucking shit fit if everything was compatible with Hydros off of that works with Apex. They'd probably lose their minds.
Anything else with the hydro stuff?
No, I could talk to you all day about this Hydros thing. I'm gonna let you go. Keep going.
I think we should actually organize a Hydros tour out with your tank tour, without all the fucking shenanigans.
Or get Jeff to do a Hydros Q&A.
Yeah, that would be really cool. So let's get that organized.
Yeah, that would be cool if Jeff did that.
Do you want to go through your livestock then, Russ?
Sure.
We haven't got the livestock.
We're probably up to like 15 minutes of usable content.
Almost.
I don't know.
Ooh, the editing's going to be rough on this one. I mean, we're almost at 2 hours.
Yeah, you're going to.
We haven't even got to livestock yet.
Nutty, don't be ridiculous. Think of the smell. You haven't thought of the smell, you bitch!
All right, you guys, you want left to right or top down? I can shut the flow off and get the look down box thing.
Whatever you think will show the corals the best.
All right, we'll do both. Yeah, so a lot of corals in there. Some kind of hammer from the local fish store, biota plate from GLC, plate from Lin Win at Reef Nerd, Terra Reef Gen X plate. Thought it died, but a bunch of babies popped up. Another Reef Nerd plates, those two, I think. Don't remember where I got that one. Probably Reef Nerd. I think so with these two. Moved the gonnies off the rocks. You can see the clownfish back there. I guess just starting with the fish. Let's see here. There is a pair of the tripod here. It's a pair of pink skunks. I think they're ORA. That is her second boy toy. She was a little too rough with the first one. Killed him. And they're getting along great now. They hang out in that back corner.
Is that where the chromis fuck?
I think that's where the clownfish do it.
So this is where the chromis fucking happens?
Another gunny from GLC. Yeah, those are two of the frog spawn I'll be getting rid of, or hammers. There's also some in the back. Fish-wise, there is that biota Coral Beauty I just added on Friday, so you can see it hanging out in the rock there. The female clown, I added a yellow tang, I want to say back in August, early September, and she hated it. So it disappeared. I don't know if she chased it out of the tank, made it jump, or badgered it to death, or just stressed it out and it died and it got cleaned up. I don't know, but the Coral Beauty's doing way better. You can see that other little yellow fucker right there taunting me. There is the Coral Beauty again. There is a female Fang Bunny in there. You can see her in the back, and then another little biota goby. There is a biota starry goby in there somewhere. It hangs out under the rock, shoots out for food. Actually, let's put it on water change mode, kill the flow. We'll hit Jeff's handy button box.
I absolutely fucking love your scape.
Everything stops. Thank you. It's all Stacks rock. There's a pair of biota mandarin in there too. Just saw one of them. But yeah, it's all Stacks rock.
For somebody with a coral buying issue and plates, issue like you, it is the perfect scape.
I think if I did it over, I'd do like a staircase, almost, like flat, just across the back, and then just step it down and really, really cram shit in here.
Like, you mean
Now,
like bleachers?
Yeah, exactly.
The Stax rocks you wouldn't think would actually work out as well as it does, but it actually works out really well and it looks good.
Yeah, I agree. And I like how it's not just like bleachers. It is kind of
Food, see what comes out.
What are we feeding Russ?
Just some ISIS. So here's the hammers that I'll be getting rid of. Those 4. While I was cleaning up the other day, just haven't remounted it.
You really don't
is,
want those?
Yeah. No, I'm gonna crank up the flow and add some more SPS.
Good enough reason.
This rock I'm gonna be getting rid of so that I can move this rock over there and then plates.
red coral in the front left, like the red and yellow. Is that like a little scoly or something? Like, what is that?
Exactly. That's
Okay.
a button scoly from Linwin.
That's really nice.
And then a bunch of Favites, whatever. Day Glow, War Coral, just some other ones. Was that Alepta, Cephestra? I can never remember the encrusting stuff, that orangey, tan looking one. The Monty there, kind of interesting how you can see the frag that I got compared the color to the new growth. The frag used to look like that, but then one of the hammers fell on it and it kind of darkened up. So I don't know if it's still angry or what, but all the new growth has that bright orange color. ORA, Duncan. I'll probably be rehoming that too once I crank the flow up. What's that, Ron?
That's a happy boy.
Yeah, let's piss it off. All right.
Can you go back to those hammers? What is that? You should, why don't you put those in your other tank?
That other tank, I think I'm gonna shut it down.
Oh. Yeah, those are cool. All right, thanks.
They could be yours.
I like that. I really like them.
I'll throw in the green, the kind of orangey peach thing, and then the bicolor.
So I have a space that I was going to try and get a clam for. That's down on the bottom, kind of a lower flow. And I think I've given up getting a clam.
They're great.
They probably would look good there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, my wife has screwed me, so I got to go, guys.
Attaboy. No, not that kind. See you later. Then.
Not that kind. I got to go pick her up. Russ, your tank's awesome.
Later, Jason.
If you want to get rid of anything, Russ, I'm always willing to take a couple things off your hands if need be.
Yeah.
And I will catch you guys after a while.
Thanks for coming on, Jason.
Later, Jason.
Bye, guys.
Later.
Enjoy the pumping.
ORA, it's out of the water. Kind of neat, kind of rubbery feeling. About a year old.
Like a piece of rope.
I need to do something with the Duncan though, because it is, you can see on the Monty where it's hitting the side of it, and then I've had to trim to keep them apart there, so it gets pretty stingy. Let's see. If I just tap the base, you'll kind of see. Actually, I'll just scoop it up. Sorry, bro.
Damn.
The way my
It's a
heart
nice-
dropped.
It's a nice colony.
Yeah.
It's probably got some fucking sweepers on it, don't it?
Yeah, it's hitting that Monty, and then I've had to prune a little bit, so I've thought about getting rid of it too. But you can see the skeleton underneath, and you can see how, oh shit, it's encrusted all the way over the edge of the tile. So probably need to either reposition it or rehome it before it attaches itself to the rock. It started as maybe about 5 heads, polyps, whatever, about a year ago.
You direct feed that, don't you, with the mysis?
Every once in a while, it's cool to watch it eat. Yeah, good idea.
Yeah, I'm just thinking like all the plates,
Sorry for
the
making you angry, dude.
Duncans. You guys probably, or you probably feed coral a lot of like mysis, basically. I know I'm always feeding my plates, my acans, all that shit.
Yeah, I usually just broadcast feed. Bunch of SPS. You can see where the blood bank was. And then I don't know what happened. I don't know if it's just mad. I don't know if the clown goobies pestered it. But it's it doesn't have loose tissue. It doesn't blow off. It's just not happy right now. But the rest of the stuff is, so oh well. The purple digi is from Great Lakes. You can see the fan worms. See back there, the clowns, like the trumpet coral. Just random stuff on this side. Gunnies.
So you say you're going to be getting rid of your hammers and your frog spawn, and you're going to be going more SPS. Is it mainly acros or just SPS in general?
I think so. That these 2 pieces I got from Biota not too long ago, and they're doing well. So like this branching is all new and it's encrusting on the base there, so I like it. It's doing well. So it kind of motivates me to get back into it. Yeah, torches are doing well.
A little Recordia farm going on down there.
Yeah, that started as just one of the rainbow ones, and then there was an orange and a kind of green purplish one. So yeah, they're just kind of taking over all there. I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the rainbow ones.
Do you worry about them going berserk?
No, if they do, oh well.
They look really cool.
They have plenty of space to cover up here and down here, and then these torches aren't glued on real great, so I can pop them loose and move them if space ever becomes an issue. And some blastos. Plates. And actually, I'll turn the flow on in the tank just with the Jeff button box and just dump all the food in there to see what happens. Maybe the coral banded shrimp and stuff will come out. Like these two have bumped, and then these three, and
Right.
nobody's been worse for the wear. Um, I had some kind of maybe an acan or something fall off of this rock and then fall into the biota forest fern, and the forest fern did not care at all. And
The
the next
acan.
day, yeah, just jelly after that.
Yeah, I had a little like zoanthid or pally or whatever the fuck it is fall onto one of my acan heads, and within a day that single polyp just disintegrated into nothing. So I feel like the acans probably can't tolerate very much.
You can see the fat little starry goby sneaking out there to get some shrimp.
What's the species of goby you've got? The striped one, Russ?
The yellowfin plenty.
Ah, is that what it is?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she lays eggs every once in a while. She used to do it real regular, but she's got to be around 4 years old or so. And I think she might be nearing the end of her life. So she looks like she's getting a little wrinkly. Like if you see her up close, her belly kind of is, you know how the flesh, it used to be like tight, and she just looks like she's getting old. She used to lay eggs really frequently every month or two and hasn't done it in a while. So I'm not sure how much longer she'll be around. There's one of the little yellow assholes taunting me.
To the chorus.
Exactly.
A chorus asshole.
I just had a rainbow pectinia, urchin, battle corals, digi, monty, some more encrusting stuff, some mushrooms. Need to figure out where to put these gonnies. I think I'm going to move them down next to the other ones once I get rid of those hammers for the frog spawn.
What is that orange ball right? Like, what is that? That's a
A red
Ghani.
Goni.
Yeah.
It's sold as a TSA Laffy Taffy Ghani. Some people think it's a Barnardipora or whatever. It was sold as a Ghani. Don't know if it is a Ghani or another species. The one next to that is what, the firecracker, glitter bomb.
Yeah. I was
That's
looking for one of
Medusa.
those red ones that doesn't like that one you've got that doesn't really branch out with really long arms. I'm sure it sends out tentacles, but it stays compact as far as that looks really cool.
Yeah, did you see the really, really short polyped Goniopora on the Fragbox TV video when he went over to England this week? And the bottom of the skeleton is like neon green, so it's got the red polyps, like the flower pot polyps, but then underneath it is neon green. I've never seen anything like it. It's almost as if it's like a solid mass, a bit like that one there, Russ.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
you can see the color variation now that
Yeah.
I've pissed it off. But same thing, it grows real compact, kind of encrusting, where something like this one is.
Oh, that's nice though.
Yeah.
Like this one has super long polyps, so it kind of hides the really cool structure.
Yeah, I liked the shorter polyp ones. Just for
But yeah,
space.
you can see how this one, it's all branchy and encrusting.
Yeah.
I could probably actually frag this several places just as the things start shooting off.
So Russ, I don't want to be like a cheapskate and ask for coral, but I really like that purple hammer. Are the rest of your
Which one?
the back left corner, the one with
This one?
the purple heads, the hammer?
Oh, this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Are your frog spawn just neon green frog spawn? Typical.
Here's another nice little hammer, and you can see how it's pretty happy where it's all
Yeah.
fleshy,
Yeah,
all
I would
fleshy down the
almost,
skeleton, and
I would love to get a couple hammers. I wouldn't want any of the frog spawn because I think it's all the same as mine.
so this
It looks
one
like it's,
is pretty cool, where it's the
is that
green and
frog
purple
spawn?
together. Yep.
Yeah, I don't have that either.
And
Because
then you can see
I'd
it's
really,
got a couple of babies head
what I
starting
would,
there, and you can
what I would, if you wanted to send those, and then if I could use because I don't have any of the shipping shit, I could take your package and I could put together 5 or 6 SPS and send back to you.
yeah, that'd be great. Yeah,
We'd have to look at what I have and see what you would want because I have big pieces of Miyagi Tor. I have like that lemonade and Acropora. It's like supposed to be yellow, but under my lights it's like a neon green with red polyps. I have that blueberry shit that grows like fucking weeds in my tank. I have some nice pieces I could send you. I don't know what you have though.
no,
Like I
that'd be
can't
great.
tell. What's the acro that's kind of yellowy green in the view right now? Down
in the back there,
that. Yeah, I
this one
don't
right
have
there,
that. Yeah.
that's one of those biota.
Yeah.
That and the other one on the front or to the right of it on the tile, I'd have to look and see which biota pieces they are.
Yeah.
But they're growing well. They came in, I dipped them, no bugs, no algae, no surprises. So yeah, just from top right, you got the rainbow pectinia, the battle corals, forest fire digi, some kind of battle corals plate, just random stuff from other frag packs, the green frog spawn, that kind of peach, orange colored frog, random mushrooms from Terra Reef, or not random, they're from Terra Reef. They're pretty cool. The Ghanies, a tiny piece of plate coral that chipped off, so why not, or not plate, Amani, so why not throw it on a plug? The sun coral, kind of annoying with the target feeding, but whatever. Up top is from Battle Corals, that Digi in the front right is the ROAB Digi. Nice blue flesh with some green polyps. Purple Digi from Zach at GLC behind it. I'm blanking on the name of that one right there. What is that? Anarchopora, something like that.
Yep.
And another Battle Corals Monty. Same thing with these two. These are the biota acros. Another piece of grape digi from GLC. Anytime I do something in the take, I seem to break off a piece of digi from Zach, so they're scattered. My plan is to let that one in the back just keep growing back and into the back wall and just let it do whatever. The Ghanies, the TSA Laffy Taffy, the Glitter Bomb, Medusa, plates, 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 plates.
You know for a fucking fact that is a sound bite for the next tank tour.
Plates, 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 plates.
I feel like that should be Russ's bio. Like
crockery in general.
A couple of torches.
Have you not going to ask Jim to make you some plates?
If he's got
I don't
it,
have
he'll
any
take 'em.
plates. I don't have plates.
Jim, could you make me a couple of jugs?
I don't have plates.
what do you know the hobby name for those torches, Russ?
I do not. I think they're from Win-Win at Reef Nerd. I'd have to look at her site to see what she sold them as.
Yeah, all good.
The one in the front, though, it's probably around half a dozen heads by now.
Wow.
I take it you can't send anything to Jordan across the border?
No, we talked about that. It would have to go to GLC and then I'd have to boof it across the border.
So is that just is it a law?
No, but just
No, the boofing would just be for fun.
yeah.
You take the big torch then.
You must excuse me. I've grown quite weary.
I've talked to a lot of local shops, like just over the border in Michigan there, and a lot of them say it really depends on if the border security wants to be an asshole. And that would really suck to have something seized when it's a nice piece, you know, like I think about the animals and it's like almost not worth trying.
No, I think that's a good attitude to have.
I mean, there's definitely no doubt you can grow the fuck out of pretty much any coral.
Yeah, it's like his own little bank of like every coral species. There's a bit of fucking everything in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah,
I
for
just
sure.
take it one day at a time.
Where do you get those tiles, Russ? Those are nice, like beefy tiles.
Amazon.
I'm gonna ask you for a shit ton of links later.
Sure.
Are you using Ocean Wonders tiles? Do you like them?
What's that?
Are you using the Ocean Wonders tiles? Just curious.
I'd have to look at my Amazon orders. They actually, the box is right here. Reefing Art.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, that's the other brand I've been seeing lately.
And they come with...
Oh, those are those little nanosphere ones. I know what you're talking about.
It's kind of like the...
Yeah.
It's not like cement or agrocrete or whatever. It's the...
Yeah. It's little ceramic balls. I know what you mean.
Oh, like the max spec bio bricks.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Ones.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, those are perfect though.
Yeah, I love
back,
them
bitches.
because...
Oh, Jason's back. No offense. That was quick, mate.
Hey.
Oh, well, I just had to pick them up. We were having nonsense in town this weekend. They shut half the fucking town down. Some bullshit. So.
No, Russ. Do you find those like hold up long term? Like those don't fall apart?
No, they've been great. They trying to see if I have any that are really encrusted over.
Yeah, that's the ones that don't break up at all. It's the shitty Brightwell bricks that just are awful. This is more like a ceramic bead. They're rock fucking.
Gotcha. That's
Are
good.
they like heavy enough to keep things from toppling over, or would
yeah.
you recommend the bigger ones for that? Like,
so those are the ones I just showed. The bigger tiles. You can see the size difference between the regular. What is that, like 1.25 inches square compared to these? Definitely heavy, and I like them because they give stuff plenty of time to encrust.
Yeah,
and you can still move it around.
You pre-soak them in your sump to get them all covered in good bacteria, etc., before you use them, or do you just use them dry?
I just chuck them in there now. I used to, but
Jordan, if you were to boof the
that's like a 8-foot walk. Oh, that'd be a lot of work to drop a couple in there.
What were you saying, Ron?
I was just going to ask, with the art of boofing, would you boof the coral or would you boof the coral and the plate?
No, the plate is like the plug handle. You got to have something to pull it out.
Oh, do you worry? Do you not just fart them out? Do you not...
Hey, Ron, can you say boofing again, please?
Boofing.
Thanks.
The art of boof.
The accent makes me laugh when you say boofing.
Le boof.
What's funny is that's how you say beef in French. Booth, le booth.
Boof. Yeah, boof. Boof.
Boof sandwich.
Sacre bleu.
How do you like the Unos, Russ?
Oh, they're great.
Would you do them again?
Yeah, they price per performance is great. The tunability, all the different color channels, service is great. Like I just can't believe how pricey some of the other light options are now. Not that these are the most economical, but again, it's all about perceived value. But
Yeah.
I've had some of the other lights in the past. Like I've had different kinds of metal halides, LEDs. I had a few of those different, was it Nanobox? I had ATI power module. I've had probably maybe Gen 3 Radeons was the last one I had, but I hated the app, or what was the stupid hub they had, EcoSmart or whatever.
Yeah.
Reef Link.
Yeah, that shit was so frustrating. And then once they became the Costco of reefing, I kind of make it a point not to buy anything aperture.
Well, I will never spend that kind of money on equipment. It's just not feasible for me.
The reef eyes are fantastic though, as far as side glare. Like the blue, I think that's in the room is just reflection off the water. Compared to other lights, though, they're not blinding. I mean, you can get the lens camera right up to them.
Yeah, and you've got it pretty high up off the water too.
Yeah, they're
foot and a half, 2 feet,
18 inches maybe.
Yeah.
Are you still running them through the Wu-Tang LAN?
Nothing to fuck with, Ron.
For the kids.
For the children.
So Russ, when are you gonna chop up your plates into little slices of pizza?
I don't know if I'd ever do that to them.
I know, right?
Do you just want to stick
SPS,
everything up
whatever.
your ass, Jordan? Is that what this is? He just wants you to cut everything up so he can stick them up his ass.
Why would I want a smaller coral, Ron?
Well, it depends how big your anus is. I don't fucking know. I mean, is there an echo? Is that
Come to
what
Canada, I'll show you.
I think the last thing I would go to Canada for is to see your fucking asshole.
Don't lie, Ron.
Highlight
Don't
of
lie.
my trip, Jordan.
Don't lie. You've seen the
He's
photos.
going there to see Franny, not your asshole. He's going there to see Franny for sure.
Well, I was going to pop in and see Russ as well.
Yeah. Where are you from, Russ? North, what is it? Canada Lina?
Exactly.
North Canada Lina.
Ah, so you come crawling back, you cheap sack of shit.
Yeah, I love my local fish store. Nemo's Reef is fantastic. But I'm stocked up on frozen food right now. So if I take stuff to them, I just get store credit and then I turn around and spend it on food consumables before I leave. And I just don't need anything now. So I'd rather send that stuff around to you guys. And then was it Pirate Ship? It's like 50 to 70% discount. So it's really not super pricey to ship. Like if you go to a UPS or FedEx store or whatever, you get killed. But yeah, you can see the coral banded shrimp under there.
I got a coral banded recently, and he's awesome. Like, he's just such a good shrimp. He doesn't fuck with anything. Like, just hangs out. Of course, now that I say that, I'm gonna eat my words, but
I almost bought one of those the other day.
dude, I had a skunk shrimp, and he was a fucking asshole. And I've got this coral banded now, and just really keeps to himself. Fucks with the clownfish, but they need to be checked a little bit.
Yeah, it's kind of funny watching it try to swipe at stuff that gets under there. It's like watching a sloth swipe at something. It's just so slow compared to the fish.
Yeah. I always think he's like trying to give them a hug, you know? He's got his arms out. He's like, "Come here."
And then how often does yours molt?
I've only had it molt, I would say maybe every other month almost.
Okay.
It's not that frequent. But he's molted a few times now.
Yeah, same thing. It's pretty, I don't know how regular. I'd have to actually
I'm
measure,
just
but
throwing a
pretty
dartboard in a dart in a dark room, but
then fish closet, all kinds of crap.
oh, that's some Ron level organization right there.
How dare you?
Then anything else you want to see on the tank? Otherwise, I can go down to the garage, show you the water station.
Let's do it.
Yep.
I hosted the shit out of that party, and that's just not setting the table, okay? I made a playlist. I thought of cool shit to talk about. I provided security. I kept everybody safe. Safe!
I think Russ is gonna take 2 records home after this. It's the most fuckery in one tank tour and the longest tank tour.
Oh, he's definitely got the medal of longest tank tour, that's for fucking sure. And the longest edit and biggest fucking headache.
It might not be the longest produced version, though.
Not likely, Russ.
That was a weird echo in your voice there.
Yeah, I'm an idiot and I accidentally unmuted my phone because it was in my hand instead of my headset. You know, monkey. Fucking moron. So here's the water station
with the base next to it.
Oh yeah, it's just kind of hung up out of the way for now.
Just slap the base while you're making some RO water.
Sometimes. Not
Sorry,
slap at a base.
Is there a pool noodle on that so that you don't bash your face off of it?
Fuck yes.
Fantastic.
See, it is at optimal forehead height.
How many times did you have to smash your head off of it before you put the pool noodle on it is what I want to know.
Multiple. And the flat part's not bad, but the edge of the brackets.
Oh yeah, that'll get you.
So one clean contact with that was enough to say, sorry kids, you're down a pool noodle.
What the fuck is a pool noodle?
I use pool noodles for all kinds of weird shit.
Why do you call it a pool noodle?
Because little people use them in swimming pools.
Use it in the swimming pool.
That is a swimming pool noodle.
What the?
You don't have those over there?
What do you do with that in a swimming pool?
You float on it. You sit on it.
You sit on that.
Yeah, you boof it, and then
not
like
the way you're
float.
thinking of, Ron. Not that kind of sit on it.
It's a float noodle.
You don't boof a pool noodle unless you want to be more floaty.
What the fuck?
No. What the fuck? I'm asking you.
That's some MythBuster shit. If you boofed a pool noodle, would you float?
If you don't have pool noodles over there, we need to send you some pool noodles because they're useful for all
what do they
kinds
call
of
them?
shit.
Clooty noodles? Cock-a-noodles?
Oh man.
Do you have those over there?
We have
use them for something else?
We have floats in the swimming pool, but not like
noodles?
No.
They're perfect for the lake. You just make a U out of them and sit on them like a swing and you just float.
So one of them makes a human being float.
Yeah.
It's like roll bar padding, Ron, except more buoyant. It's a less dense foam.
Whoa. Stop the fuckery. Is that a reefy as fuck sticker?
Oh.
Holy shit.
Put it away, Ron. I can see it sticking up.
Now we need the tape measure, huh?
No, we don't.
I have chloramine. I'm on city water or whatever. So I have a 6-stage SpectraPure.
Hey, Dace.
What's that?
Good girl. Sorry, no, I'm talking to my dog.
Gotcha. I thought you were talking to your boner too.
Russ is like, he thinks I'm a good girl. Thanks, Jim.
really low starting TDI. It's usually less than 75. It's usually around 65. So filters last a long while. I replace them about once a year, just out of caution. Membrane lasts a really long time. Once it starts creeping up past what 90, below 98% rejection rate, whatever, I'll change it. DI, dual stage, goes to water container with a float valve. Pretty simple. Valve on it to fill up stuff. Built a really simple stand, enough to fit the 5-gallon containers under it. That's how I do a water change. 2 of those for the big tank. Too dirty, too clean. So I just go up there, drain 10 gallons, pump 10 gallons back in. The tank is on the 2nd floor in my office. And then this container is pre-mixed salt. So just a couple of 44-gallon brutes, and then just a little pump in there, a cheap Amazon pump. Let's see, turn a little more light.
Is that just for mixing the salt?
Yep, I'm running Red Sea Blue Bucket. And then just random containers. I have, let's see, KH Care acid. I just use this for my reagent, mix it myself. I mix up a jug of AFR and just keep it down here for whenever we need to refill the containers. I cannot stress again how lazy I am. So having pre-made water, both the RODI and the salt water, makes it even more likely that I'll do maintenance, because then I just have to open a valve, pour shit into the container, and I'm done. Just and then take it upstairs. Not a ton in the way of chemicals, some carbon in case you need it, Phosguard, balling, just random shit. Not too meth labby.
I used to run Phosguard, but found my silicate kept going up when I used it.
Yeah, I just don't care. I can't tell you the last time I tested phosphate.
Good man.
Or nitrate. I simply don't care. Stuff looks good. If I measured it and it was super high or super low, I'm not sure I would actually change anything.
I don't give a fuck.
So, yeah. I love data. I like numbers. I like measurables. I like being able to say, here's where I started, here's what I did, and this was the measurable effect. If I'm not going to do anything with the number, I'm not going to measure just for the sake of measuring. So
makes sense.
Whatever my phosphate is, it's going to be my phosphate because I'm thrilled with the way stuff looks now. I'm not going to go add more or reduce the amount of phosphate in the tank because, again, I care about the results, not about the numbers, and I'm happy right now.
That makes sense to me.
We're trying to zoom in on something cool. What do you guys want the camera on? That might be my favorite fish, though. The Coral Beauty, I've had it since Friday, and I love it already.
They're very cool fish. Does anybody have any other questions for Russ?
I don't have any questions, but your tank's amazing.
Yeah, looks great.
Thank you.
Well, folks, if that is the end of today's fucking epic tour in terms of greatness and time, I think we'll wrap it up. I just want to thank Russ for your time and thank everybody for joining. This has been absolutely amazing. And I'd really like to do it again in the not so distant future because it sounds to me like you have changes and plans, and I'd like to check in again.
Yeah, I kind of glossed over that I used to have a tank, a 45-gallon custom tank that was basically all SPS. I flew too close to the sun, thought I was too smart, moved everything over to this tank and fucking killed it all. So this tank was the scatter shot frag pack. I'm going to throw a bit of everything in, see what does well, what I like, and then whatever that turns out to be, that's what's going to be in the tank. So
Well, you're kind of fucked because it looks like everything's doing well.
some stuff's going to make the cut list. And I do like the frog, the hammers, but just if I crank the flow up, I don't know how good that's going to be for them long term. And then
Yeah.
as they start stinging other shit, something's got to make the cut. Oh, I don't know if anyone counted, but it is 10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bag. There's got to be 5 or 6 dozen frags in there. So the collectoritis, the needs to be reduced. This stuff fills in.
Never.
I love it. Love it a lot.
I'm going to stop recording now and then spend the next 6 weeks editing this. So thanks for that.
Good luck.
Yeah. Cheers.
The costs are going to add up.
Yep.
They sure are.
Have you considered just like a delay button? Does that something Zoom has where you can just hold it down and it just stops recording?
No,
and then once we get all of our nonsense out, you resume.
It's all good shit.
It's like moon rocks, moon corals.
Right. Go down this fucking rabbit hole.
I have fucking chromies.
No, you do not.
Yeah, they just were fucking. So this is where
they hear Ron's voice and then
happens.
they get it on.
Well, thanks again, Russ.
Thanks, Russ.
Thank you guys. This was a blast. I'm perfect timing. The kids and the wife left before the tour started. They were out of the house all day, so could not have gone better for us to dick around.
And dick around we did.
Later, guys.
Catch you later, guys.
I don't give a fuck.
Thanks, Russ.
Thanks, Russ.
See.